off now?
Yep, go ahead, brother.
Okay, pretty much, my name is Eric McKinney. I'm originally from New Jersey, but I reside here in South Carolina. Man, I got a story to tell though. Honestly, I started off, as most people, in school, just trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life and stuff like that. And one thing kind of led to another. I can kind of first start off how I got into real estate. So a long time ago, I took I took a semester off from school,
Uh-huh.
and I was studying business management at the time. That's crazy, man. I was studying business management at the time, and I don't know. I just kind of wanted to build like generational wealth for my family because I have like five other brothers and sisters, six including me. So we ain't really have a lot, growing up. Like we didn't have the best, you know what I'm saying? Growing up, I mean, my mom did what she could and stuff like that. She was single most of my life. Like I said, my father had got incarcerated when I was about 3 or 4. So we actually took a trip and we moved down here to South Carolina. But anyway, yeah, just trying to figure out, how can I build generational wealth for me and my family though. And I guess I was like, I don't know if I was on like a website or something like that, but I started seeing like people like doing real estate and like doing it like really good and making a whole lot of money doing it. And so I just kind of I looked at it. I brought a software, and kind of before that, I kind of actually had a job. It was my first travel job because I was a salesman. I'm a salesman at heart. I kind of like to say, and I was selling like generators and stuff like that. And I had pretty much saved up enough money to buy this real estate software. And pretty much make a long story short, I spent a whole lot of money in that. This was again on my break while I was at, coming from school and stuff like that. So I just kept learning and learning and learning. So I ended up not going back to school though, right? I said just bump it. I felt like, this was the way to go. And I pretty much I started doing real estate. My first deal was actually pretty bad though, man. I had got a couple of people lined up and stuff like that. And the guy, he had wanted a better house, but he still wanted to pay the same price. And like he just had a whole lot of stuff like misconstrued at the time. And like that was my first deal. And it's crazy. I remember like it was yesterday. It was me because I actually met a mentor. Let me kind of like rewind it a little bit. So I during this course that I was studying though, it actually tells you like where to like go and like meet like mentors or like people that's in real estate. So I had actually met my mentor in a meeting, and it was a particular deal, the deal that I was talking about before we got into his kitchen. He was the only, pretty much person that knew that type of a deal, and kind of make a long story short, him and I have been kind of just like passing off deals like back and forth back then. Um, so we get into the guy's house and it just blows up, pretty much my face and stuff like that. So I wasn't really discouraged, but like it was a downer because, like I say, I didn't really have a job at the time. The money that I was pretty much using was the money that I had kind of saved from when I was a salesman, selling generators and stuff like that. And money was getting really short though, and like I had just kept trying to learn and just, excuse me, find deals and find deals and find deals, and I couldn't. And so I end up like after like a few months, I ended up telling my mentor like I told him I was gonna go back to school, but I actually just went back to work and stuff like that. And I don't know, I had was working and stuff like that at another sales position and stuff like that, and I was doing fairly good. But it wasn't until the guy who brought me on, he actually got fired from the company though, and I felt
Hmm.
like when he got fired, that was kind of really like unfair though, based on like the situation at the time though. I just don't feel like they should have fired him. So like I was thinking like, man, I need to get back into it. Like this ain't really like too stable though, because they can really let anybody go at any time. So I just got back into real estate. I had hit my mentor up, and I didn't have his number because I had another phone. This was years. Okay, I just need to remind you, this was years from the time that I had, kind of like said, well, the money's kind of getting tight. Let me go back to work. It was probably about, I would say probably about 2.5, 3 years, probably somewhere around in that. And like I said, I just kind of just hit them back up, and it was on and popping from there. I didn't have his number. I actually hit him up on Facebook. And the crazy part about it is, man, he actually hit me up. I don't think he knew it was my birthday at the time, but he actually hit me up on my birthday though. Like it was crazy. Like I want to say I probably had something in the message like early because my birthday is in October. I want to say I sent him that message probably like in January, February, or something like that. So it was crazy. And me and him linked back up though, and it was pretty much like he kind of got me hip to it. Now I had still had that software because I had bought it, but I hadn't really been like studying and nothing like that because it teach you, but it's not really getting your feet wet. And like I say, I linked back up with him, and like I want to say we linked back up in October. I brought my first house in November. I actually, for the first time, I bought 2 houses. That was my first time buying a house, period. He had structured the deal good enough to where I could buy like 2 houses. And ever since then, man, it just kind of like, I got like 19 houses right now, though. So I only been doing it for like, this going on 3 years. Like in October of this year, to be 3 years that I'm doing it. Like I said, I just closed on my 19th property this week. And like, I kind of just been, I would fix up a house. Like, so at the beginning, like I would like do more of like fix and flips. I'd fix it up a little bit and then I'll sell it. But then I started seeing like, well, I'm trying to get in it to build like generational wealth, something that I can leave behind for my family, especially my kids when I had them, my brothers and sisters and stuff like that, my mom. And so, bro, I pretty much, I forgot where I was at. And
You was selling them.
You said, well, oh yeah, I was selling the houses and stuff like that. But I got to the point, like I was saying, like, well, I really wanted to, build generational wealth. So I just pretty much, I would fix the house and then I would rent it out. And then the profits that I made from that house, I would just pretty much save up and buy another house. Do it. I would just kept doing it until now we at this point though. So, I mean, I'm still learning and stuff like that, like every day, but, like I say, it's really good though. Like I hope, people look at this and, they be inspired. I can really go on and on about really details and stuff like that. But man, it was really hard though. And I'm gonna take it back. Hold on, I meant to tell you this first as well though, because I believe in bringing stuff to the light and stuff like that, and manifestation and stuff like that. Man, I lived in my grandma's house at the time because my grandmother lived closer to the school that I was going to, which was upstate. So she lived, so I actually moved in with her and stuff like that. And around my walls, like I would post like my goals, like my money, like the type of money that I want to make and stuff like that. And every day, like, man, I would read it before I got up. I mean, before I went to bed, and then when I got up, I would read and stuff like that as well. Every day, like I'm talking about when like nothing like successful looked around me. I'm talking about like we just talking about just 4 walls. Like it didn't look like, I mean, I could do anything. I mean, other than just think about it though. But like, man, it's crazy to like the come up is so real though, man. Like I remember I used to get like teary eyed because I know that like it's coming though. Like I just felt it like deep down inside, and I really truly believe that I was put on this earth, not only provide for my family, but to help others like me and stuff like that, and continue inspiring and stuff like that. So it'd be nice that I couldn't even go to sleep because I'd be so excited about, what I'm saying, the next day and just making the most out of the next day and stuff like that. And man, it's crazy to think that, now that I think about it, looking back, man, like the come up is really real though. I mean, anybody really can do it though. I mean, it's funny kind of looking back on it and stuff like that, and just like, man, I don't know how I was able to do it. Like I remember I used to have to walk to the library, man, like just to do some research. I'm talking about like walk like at least 2 miles, like because I lived in my grandmother's house. You know what I'm saying? So like my car actually, this was before I got a car. Like I was actually just getting like taking to school and stuff because it's not far from where my mom actually lives. It's just on a different side of town. And man, I remember I used to walk to the library, man, and just like I used to walk everywhere. I mean, now it just be so crazy, man. Like, man, it's crazy, man. It's really a blessing, man. Really,
it is a blessing, bro. That's a huge blessing. So what inspired you the most to get to where you are now? What was one of your biggest inspirations in life?
I think it's my family though, and then I'm also tell people too though, like, are you familiar with ET?
Yes.
Like, man, like, oh my
E.T. the
God,
hip
bro.
hop preacher.
Yeah, ET the hip
Yep.
hop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't understand, like, he helped me out like so much, and he don't even know it. And then I'm sure at some point in time I will eventually meet him. But man, we talking about when nothing around you looks successful. Like, I mean, nothing around you. I mean, it looks like you're just gonna be like another, like, I want to say, black person just working like a 9 to 5, and not saying there's anything wrong with it, but not having any ambition behind it. Just, okay, well, I'm gonna go to work, pay my bills, go to work, pay my bills. I'm like, no, I'm trying to like live more than that, you know. And it's just not about money though, too though. It's about the opportunity that you have when you have that type of resource. You know, you can go out and help a million people if you wanted to. You don't have to just want to do it just to drive the fastest car, whatever the case may be. Because I would tell you, I actually had my dream car. It was a Jaguar F-Type R Coupe, and I done deleted it now off Instagram and stuff like that. And I was faced with a decision, like, do I keep this car, you know, something that I don't really need, or do I just leave it as is, like turn it back in though, and just pretty much get going and just pretty much build up in this real estate, and then I will let my pretty much my assets pay for that. And I was faced with a tough decision. I mean, it wasn't tough, but it was like, man, like I finally got the dream car that I always wanted. Like I used to dream about. I remember going to the guy who actually, well, I got it from, and he was trying to show me how to test drive. I'm like, man, I done drove this car so many times in my head, man. I don't even need you, man. You know what I'm saying? He was like, all right, say no more. But after that, I knew that, you know, like this was like real estate was definitely a way to, you know, help myself and then also help others around me and stuff like that. And last year with COVID, you know, that was my first year like really going through like some hard times, like a lot of tenants like couldn't pay and stuff like that though. And a lot of my pretty much my properties are pretty much probably financed through like private investors and stuff like that. So I still had to pay though, even though the tenants they wasn't really required to pay at the time. So it got tough though. Like I'm not even gonna lie, it really got tough though. Like I tell people all the time, when you get into real estate, when it's good, it's magnificent, but when it's bad, it's really really horrible though. But like I say, I mean, it's all about building relationships with your tenant and then also networking. You know, finding out what type of resources that you can get, just depending upon your situation and stuff like that.
That's beautiful, bro. That's beautiful. And that's so much knowledge and power, in so many ways. It's incredible how much you've like learned and experienced, and then you got to where you are now. Despite the COVID situation happened, you came through it. You here now, you back in business, you're doing what you got to do, and you closing on properties again. So that's
Right.
that's another beautiful thing, bro. It's truly amazing to see you be out there, especially as a black man. Let's get this
Right.
wrong. Like
Mhm.
as black individuals, it is a lot harder for us to make it because, like you said, when we young, you know, we don't have all the resources as if it was in a white family. I'm just putting
Right.
it out
Right.
there. You know,
Right.
we were taught where in a central way, our parents treated us like guests.
Right.
By
Right.
the time you turn 18 to
You gotta
25,
go.
you gotta go, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, it's over. There ain't no inheritance. There ain't no
Mhm.
trust fund. It's you gotta work for your own.
Right.
You gotta stand on your 2 toes, your 10 toes, and go get it.
Right.
Essentially, that's how it worked in a black family, and
Right.
that's like something I really admire about you, bro. You had hard times, growing up, and now it's just like, hey, it's my time to shine now. I'm here. I'm finally doing what I love. I
Mhm.
learned it, and I'm trying to help everybody else build the same thing that they
Right.
want to build with this, and it's incredible, bro. It's truly incredible. So, what is a positive message you would like to give to other people out there that want to do real estate or just in general?
I think just being yourself though, man, and like you don't have to prove anything to nobody but except yourself though. You know what I mean? And it's like it's bigger than you at the end of the day though, in a sense though. I just encourage people just continue to just be the best themselves though. I mean, even though your situation might not be, like you say, like in like that hedge fund type of, environment, oh, well, we really got to go out and we really got to grind and get it though. It's like, I mean, I'm not knocking my mom for anything like that. I mean, but just financial literacy is just, it was unheard of. And, I mean, if you can not only, teach yourself, but also teach your family member, I mean, it lasts. It's way bigger than you. I mean, like when you pass on, I mean, you will still live on through like the people that you help, the families and stuff like that, the creatives that you made, and stuff like that. And it just at the end of the day, I mean, you just got to do all you can though, like every day though. I mean, and just thank God, our Lord Jesus Christ first off. By faith, I mean, you can go farther, not by sight, but by faith though, because there's been a lot of times where, really truly like I wanted to quit though. Like, I mean, it sounds good now though. I mean, looking back, but like, I mean, it was tough though. I mean, nothing in this world is, easy though. I mean, if it was easy, more people would be rich and stuff like that. More people would have that financial ability to be able to go out and help others. Obviously it is people, but as a young generation coming up though, I mean, I think it's really more so important for us to, link up with them and, help see how we can help, further and further generations on and stuff like that. And we talking about outside of your family. We just like talking about just helping, minorities, period, though. I think it's just crazy though, man. I just gotta keep going though. Like I will say that just keep going, man. Like even when it's tough, man, like I promise you, just like keep going, man. For real though. Just keep going.
Bro. I love that,
For real
bro.
though.
So what was one of your hardest deals that you've made in real estate? What was one of the hardest ones? What would you say was your hardest one? The one that was most challenging.
Okay, it was probably the first one though, because I you see it all the time and stuff like that. I mean, even though I had a course that was telling me like this is the steps that you go through in a closing, and I got my mentor in 1 year, like, well, it's not really that hard. It really don't take that long. I think the first closing was really like probably like I would say like the toughest though. Just because you're not knowing what to expect. I mean, yeah, just really because you just don't know what to expect. You're new to it though. I mean, you're not familiar with it at all though. I mean, I think that's was the main thing. And after I got over there first, I'm like, well, man, it's not really that hard. I mean, it's just doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again though. And like not really getting tired of, like I used to talk and go back to the guy who I was telling you about, who had actually got fired though. The one who like kind of made me like open my eyes back up to real estate. He always used to say this all the time. He's like, man, if honestly, you tell me this, Eric, if you had $1 million right now in your pocket, liquid cash, would you still be doing what you're doing right now? And I kind of looked and I said, I said, I don't know, maybe not in this right here though. And then, we kind of went on to have like little conversations after that. But, this is something that I truly, feel passionate about doing. And then, side note, I mean, I have different people that I use to like renovate for me and stuff like that. But a lot of times I'm working there. I mean, I literally like built the house from ground up. I mean, obviously like assisting people and stuff like that, but I've worked all the way down from like washing the floors into like the CEO of like my company, which I mean, I am a CEO. I'm the only person, but so I do consider myself a CEO. So yeah, I think that's just what it is though. I mean, I think like I say, my first one, that was probably the toughest one, and like my first deal, like now, yeah, I take that back. Okay, so part of it was me like actually going to buy a house. Like that was like pretty nerve-wracking, right? And so when I actually was going to sell a house, now my mentor not there. I mean, I'm telling him about the deal, but it's not his deal. He already done pretty much passed it on to me, like being there in that first deal without him and stuff like that, and saying like, man, like this stuff is like really like cakework. It's really not that hard though. Like, yeah, stuff get hard. Like for instance, like last year, but man, like you can really do it though, for sure though.
I'm glad. That's beautiful, bro. That's beautiful. So what are your goals for the next 3 to 5 years?
I think, personal goals is continue to build generational wealth, allow my assets to, continue to pay for my liabilities, along with, just helping others, trying to be resourceful as much. Because, as much as it sounds good, you being on a high horse and stuff like that. But if you can't, reach out and just like help like one person, I mean, I think it's just really so unfair for a person just to be in a fortunate position, just to not at least give out some type of advice or anything. Like growing up, I never asked for anything. Like I had to read, like I had to go out, I had to read, I had to read, I had to read. Like school didn't like it showed me. I give school one thing. I say I'm glad they taught me how to read. I'm glad they taught me how to write, and then like adding and subtracting. You know what I'm saying? Like I appreciate them for doing that, but other than all the other stuff, like now, like I had to go out and I had to like read, and then it started like bringing ideas to my head though. Like I'm like, well, man, like I've been an entrepreneur like my whole life. I just really didn't know what to call it like back then though. But
Mhm.
whether it was like side business was like going to like helping somebody cut grass or something like that. Though. I mean, a guy had it within, I think, like I said, and that's just the main part, just like sharing your story, like helping others, like whether it be like even if it inspires them just a little bit, just like giving them the go, like, man, I promise you, you can do it, man. I promise you. If you got these people out here that can do it, man, like they no different than you and me. They regular people, like ET said. Like they regular people. Like if they can do it, I can do it for sure, though.
Love that, bro. I love that, bro. So where are most of your properties located, would you
Okay, so
say?
my most of my properties are located in the upstate. So I live in the upstate of part of the Carolinas, I guess you can kind of say. So um my properties range from I guess from one side to the other side. I guess you can kind of say if you're really not familiar with the area, you wouldn't want to know specifically what I was talking about as far as just location wise. But a lot of them are here in the upstate, South
Okay.
Carolina.
Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Like that, bro. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful, bro. And the last question, bro, is what kind of positive thing would you like to do for the world if you could do one big thing? Anything. You could.
If I could do one thing for the world,
Yep.
I think they make it a better place than I came.
Yeah.
Whether that be going out and passing out a million books of entrepreneurship, or whether that just been with just talking with like a lot of people though. Like I just feel like it's you take one day at a time. That's what my grandma used to say. I mean, you take one day at a time, and I feel like as long as you can pretty much help as many people as you can, though, man, like that should be enough in itself, though, because it's gonna live. We only live for so long, though. So in order for you to really become like I guess a legend to a degree, though, like you have to reach your hand. I mean, you have to be, that option for people to reach out to, and not saying that you gotta like give people money and stuff like that, but man, like nobody never gave me no money though, man. Just reading that book and putting me in that right mindset to be around the right people though. They gonna bring you what you need though. And it's kind of crazy though, like how when you want something so bad, man, you think about it, man. It's crazy how the world make it in ways to where you can get that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's just one of the things too, though, man. Just man, you just being impactful, like helping others, man. Not being like I kind of hate when like because a lot of like if you see a lot of rich like black people, a lot of them got they nose stuck up in the air though, and then like they value like things that we really shouldn't value. Now I'm not saying like you shouldn't want to live in a 10-bedroom house like a mansion or something like that, but like at the end of the day, like that's really not important, like because it's only gonna last for so long. Again, we don't live
Mhm.
forever, like in this skin though. So really the main thing is just really sharing it with others though, and just allowing them like, man, I know if he can do it, I can do it, man. Like if I can just do that for a handful of people, man, just them hearing my story, man, I think I done did enough as far as that degree, but also continue to just keep going and going and going and going like that right now.
That's love, brother. That's love, bro. And you right about that though. You really is right about that. There's a lot of black rich people that just have their noses up in the air and they have and instead of them using that platform to share people's stories and actually listening and talking to people and having these conversations we having, they just like, yeah, man, look at this new sponsorship I got for this brand and this new car I got and this new big
Right.
house and
They
this
trying to tell you they latest ebook or whatever the case. Like, yo, I understand all that, man. I understand it. Even when I get to a certain level, I mean, you can't talk. I mean, it's hard to talk to everybody, but like you have to put yourself in a position to where like you have like a hotline to where people can text you or something like that. And like this is of course like when you like start building and build, I mean, my friends and like my followers and stuff like that, they know they can kind of reach out to me. But in a way, like I need to continue to just keep growing my following on social media so I can continue to help as many people as I can though. But I'm not the biggest social media person. Like I done a lot and just not really showed it on Instagram or anything like that. But I think those just kind of one of those things because I'm not that old though, but I'm still like old fashioned to a degree though. Like I much rather like write notes down on pen and paper than like putting it in my phone, like typing it on the computer. Like I'm that old fashioned. Like even though I'm not that old though, but I still got a lot of old fashioned ways and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
that's always a blessing. And I thank you, Ed, for real. Your story was so inspiring, brother. It really was. I mean, just seeing the way you growing as a black individual, you in real estate, got 19 properties going on for yourself. You're trying to build generational wealth. You're trying to inspire other people to keep going, and that's a blessing from God within itself. And you know, it's incredible, bro. And I really it inspires me, bro. It inspires me to keep going, to keep doing these interviews, to keep reaching out to people, to hear their stories, to really help people show themselves to the world and really open each other's minds more because we need that
yeah,
knowledge.
sure.
Like somebody said in an interview, knowledge is power.
Yeah,
Shout out
right.
to Jermaine. Shout out to Jermaine. He did an interview a long time ago. He said knowledge is power, and it is. And the more knowledge you are able to share with other people, the more power and the more we can connect with each other as individuals instead of being so separated and basically in this little circle of I have this many followers, this is my group of friends, and I don't want anybody else involved but them. And
Right.
that mentality right there is a mentality that we have a problem as a generation society, and I want to break that.
Right.
So I really do thank you for doing this interview, bro. It's
Man, you
really
know what? I definitely, I promise you, man. I definitely appreciate you reaching out to me, man, and giving me the opportunity to share my story, man. Hopefully, we've made a lot of impacts, I guess, with this interview that you got me in and stuff like that, man. And really though, man, I definitely appreciate it though, man, because like we just need to start like masterminding with people. Because I mean, I like seeing like other black people, especially on the come up, man. Because I'll tell you what, man, the come up is just so real, man. It's just it when you look back at it, I promise you, man, once you just like have some goals, man, and you reach them, I mean, as far as like financially, whatever the case may be, like it gets you so emotional, man, because it's like, man, like it really is real though, man. Like for real though, man. Like it really is, man. Like your dreams really do come true though, man. Like, man, like it's crazy. It be giving me cold chills like when I think about like how far I came and stuff like that, and just how it could be so impactful. Like, and then also I do want to add this in too though, like if people have a hard time like motivating themselves and stuff like that, because some people like can motivate within and stuff like that. And like I use like a lot of times like, well, I was like, well, I'm tired of motivating myself. Like it's only so much that you can really motivate yourself. You gotta have some type of input coming in. And like I said, my really low times, man, like ET, man, like, and he not paying me to advertise for him or anything like that. But man, like he helped me out so much, man. Like so much, man. Just like I'm talking about like every day, man. Like I used to wake up like every day, every day I used to wake up, man. Like every day I used to wake up and just like listen to him, man, and be like, man, what just like, man, it
I
just
hope
like I
one day.
said,
I hope one day I'll be able to interview him, and if he does allow me to give the chance to interview him, I possibly might be like, "Hey, Eric, you got some time? Let you meet him for
his
the
name
first
is
time."
Eric too, though. So tell him,
Yeah.
so, so tell him like Eric's like, man, it's I don't know when your name is Eric, like I guess like you I
Jeremy.
don't know. Yeah, I guess he's like a superstar or something like that, though, man. But if you need, you know what I'm saying, if you need any other interviews or anything like that, man, I swear, man, I promise you from the bottom of my heart, man, I really do appreciate it for real, though, man. Like, just for you taking the time out, listening to me and stuff like that, and hopefully this inspire other people, though, man. But seriously, though, man, no matter if I got 1,000 followers, 10,000 followers, or whatever the case may be, man, you reach out. I never forget this, man, for real, though. You reach out to me, man. I definitely make sure whatever resources that I have for you, man, I definitely extend them to you, though, man, for sure, though, man.
Thank you,
Seriously.
Eric. I appreciate that, man. And thank you for joining me today, bro. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, man, for real, though.
Of course, bro. Be blessed, man.
All right, you too, man.
All right. Have a good one, brother.
All right.
All right. Peace.